everybody. Welcome to Teensy Vintage. This is Teresa. Today we are going to use one of the gel plate prints that I made in a previous video in my art journal. Because I often get asked, what do you do with all those prints that you make? Well, one, they're just pretty and you can look at them. But two, you can, make shapes out of them, cut them up, tear them up, put them in your junk journal, put them in your art journal, whatever you want to do. A lot of options. I've got my We Are Makers, or We Are Memory Makers, Memory Keepers. Oh gosh, sorry y'all. Anyway, I've got this circle cutting gizmo, and I am trying to put the little teeny tiny blade into place. You can watch me fumble around here. I'm very graceful. It does make sense. It just is a little wonky. Honest to goodness, it's just really small. And then the little gizmo that helps you lift out the blade didn't want to go back in. Oh, goodness. Anyway, basically, I am going to cut a circle out of this print. And here I am. I'm just trying to figure out how big I want this circle to be. And I think I ended up going with 4.5 inches in diameter. So it has measurements along the side there. And yeah, you can kind of see where I've got it. It's about 4.5 inches, which is great. Except for the fact that I didn't account for all of the stuff at the top of the screen that you can't see. There's a bunch of stuff there on my desk, and it was going to run into it, and you see me moving things around. Again, maybe I should plan a little better. Maybe next time. Okay, so I've got a circle, mostly, kind of a wonky circle. I'm going to cut out the part that didn't get cut, and even out a couple places where I moved or I don't know. Anyway, here's my circle and I love it. So now I'm going to use the gizmo to remove the tiny blade and put them all back in the tiny storage spot and try to shut the tiny door. Oh my gosh, y'all, this was redonkulous. Okay, there we go. Done. Now, there's a beautiful circle. Um, I would like to use some other parts of this print as well. So I've got this freeform cutter. Um, I don't know who makes this particular tool. I want to say I got it on Temu. I know. But yeah, you can basically use it to make whatever shapes you want. And here I am making a wiggly line down the side of this print. And unfortunately, it didn't cut all the way through, but I'm still able to kind of pull it off and put the piece here. So this didn't really turn out as well as I thought it would. So I'm just going to put it over here on the side. I don't actually end up using that piece. That's okay. We're going to work in the Square Dilutions Journal today. And looking around, I'm like, what else could I do with this page? I decide that I want to make a few more smaller circles. And instead of pulling out the blue circle maker gadget thing, I'm just going to go ahead and use a good old-fashioned hole punch. Um, we'll make some color choices here in a minute. But yeah, I've got a 2-inch diameter hole punch, and I'm just gonna punch out some spots. Unfortunately, one of them got just a little chomp in it because I didn't go far enough away, but that's okay. You can watch how I deal with that later. All right, so now I have some pretty circles to go with my big circle. And I'm using some yellow paint. I really love pink and yellow together. I guess I really am a child of the 80s. But yeah, yellow and pink, I dig that combination so much. But yeah, we're going to do some stenciling here. This is an AALL stencil, and um, I had a minute of trouble trying to get the darn thing out of the package. Here it goes. Okay, and we've got a tiny makeup sponge, and we're just going to apply it. But first, apparently, I'm going to put some pink paint down. And we're just going to smear it on there. I gotta tell you, it's really satisfying to do this. You just cover up a whole part of the page. That's good stuff. Gonna clean up my mess here. And now we're gonna use the yellow paint. I made sure the pink paint was dry first, and I'm putting a piece of paper underneath just to catch anything that might go off the edge since I'm working on the edge here. And just going through the stencil with the yellow paint. I know it's hard to see on the video, but I'm also going to put more yellow paint on this side of the page as well. And I'm going outside of the stencil too, just to match that chaotic energy of the pink. Yeah, I'm really liking how this is turning out. I picked up a little bit of what's left of the yellow paint, and I'm just going around some of the edges and adding little spots of yellow. And I'm refocusing my focal point. It's like still looks good, so I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to pull out a very dark blue color. This is one of those nice gray blue colors. I think this is Dina Wakley Marine. Um, a nice dark blue. So this is going to give a lot of contrast here. Um, and I'm going to cut off the pink part of my makeup sponge to reuse it since there's plenty of sponge left. And I'm going to grab a stencil with a polka dot motif because I just love polka dots. I don't know. I have a friend who loathes them, um, which, that's fine. I understand they're not everybody's cup of tea, but I love polka dots. I just think they're the bee's knees. Little rows of circles, yes, please. So I'm going to put some dots here on the left side of the page as well and use up most, if not all, of that paint. And I did make a little bit of a mess, but honestly, I don't care. A little grunge is a good thing in my book. And again, we make mistakes in our art and we just keep going. You'll figure out how to fix it, I promise. Sometimes you just leave it alone, sometimes you incorporate it into something else, sometimes you just cover it up. But at the end of the day, it's okay. It's not a crisis. Okay. So now I'm going to use the sponge with the blue paint still on it to edge all of the circles. And this gives them a nice shadowy kind of effect, and helps them look a little more dimensional. So they're not just, this flat disc on the page. They, kind of look a little bit like they have a shadow. It's just kind of a, way to finish off the circle, so to speak. And I'm going to do that to all of the circles here, just to give them all a cohesive, standard look. Since they're all from the same print, the same page, they all have a lot of the same colors in them. So, yeah. So now I'm kind of auditioning where to put these. Um, I also have a vintage photograph of two ladies that I want to use on this piece. So this is a nice, I think it's a 3.5 by 3.5 square. It's a picture from the 60s. Two lovely old ladies holding their handbags next to a vintage car. Well, it was probably a new car when they were hanging out next to it. But anyway, I've torn off the sides. I'm going to see about where to put these smaller circles. And that one with the little chomp taken out of it, I'm going to tuck that behind the big circle so you'll never know it had a chomp taken out of it. Um, yeah, so let's see. I'm also seeing if that weird piece I cut off is going to work, but nah, it doesn't really. So it's okay. We tried. I'm going to use some art glitter glue here to glue all of the circles down to the page. You could use a glue stick. This gel print rather, is on a heavier piece of mixed media paper. So in my mind, it was just better to go ahead and use the art glitter glue. Um, just to make sure everything adheres. I find that the glue stick works really well on lighter types of paper, scrapbook paper or copy or printer paper, that kind of stuff. Really light ephemera, stuff like that. Just making sure that the circle is stuck nice and firm. And I'm also gonna tear off a little more of this photo. I want all the edges to be torn, just so it all looks, you know, like it's meant to be. I know some people get upset with me when I tear up a photo, but it's okay. I found this photo in an antique shop. These ladies, who knows who they are, where they are? Um, I'm pretty sure they don't care. I'm pretty sure they might think it was cool to be featured in somebody's art journal. So I'm going to glue down the rest of these circles to my page. Yes. Oh, I'm really loving how this turned out. Yeah. So, looking good. I'm going to go around the edge of the page with the little bit of paint that's left, just to give it a hint of color. And that's pretty much it, y'all. I'm really touched that y'all are still here watching with me. I really appreciate your patience over the holidays while I took a little bit of a break. Um, but I hope to get back to my regular scheduled weekly videos here now that it's the new year. And I appreciate you for watching. If you're not subscribed already, I'd love it if you'd subscribe and click the little bell icons. You'll be notified every time I put out brand new video. All right, we've got one more piece to add to this page, and we're going to just stick the little sentiment right there on the bottom. And that ties it all together, y'all. There we go. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.